Hi there, it's another tarot sesh for Cancer. I'm the Can Astrologer. My name is Abby, and this is another reading for May 2025. So this is going to be your full moon reading, which is on the 12th. It's the full flower moon in Scorpio. So there could be some passionate, fiery energy there. It's a water sign, but very passionate. Water signs, clarification. Welcome back to all of my returning subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, make sure that you do so and smash that button. Also hit the little notification bell. That way you get notified of all of my upcoming content. All right. You had a great song on pre-shuffle. It's called Home by Good Neighbor. We'll go into that in just a second. Underneath the deck, we have Carusar, autonomy. So it's like doing something repeatedly and it just becoming like autonomous, like constant, continuous. Autonomy. I want to look at the book for that one, actually. I've never really looked into that one. And then top of the deck, main message is food, meditation, I can. Cancer, I swear, like, speaking to you, I can speak to you through food. Like, I can speak to you through your stomach. I'm a water sign, fellow water sign as well. As I say that, there's a big picture of an ocean right behind the camera, so that's funny. Autonomy. Somebody's trying to remain autonomous, like, hidden in the shadows. Cruiser. I just heard somebody's worried about something. Okay, 34. Somebody could be 34 years old, but also 3 plus 4 equals 7. 7 is all about defense, defending your personal morals, ethics, beliefs, values, goals, things like that. Yeah, she's the sum of the cards that came before her. She carries the wand of Rye, the veil behind the witch doctor, the snake belt of the manifestor, the jewelry chains from Sarki, and the Sphinx's union from Alabispio. That's okay. So this is funny. This is the card for the sign of Cancer, right here, which helps us learn how to use the power of the mind in disciplining emotions. So you could be working on navigating, okay, I'm not even kidding, behind the camera is a picture of a canoe with water. And I was just about to say, you could be learning how to, or getting better at navigating waters, okay, which are like your emotional waters. The Kasar appears when it's time to accept your emotions. There's nowhere else to run because the Carusar only brings success. You are in charge of yourself and steer the wheels of your chariot. The wave behind the chariot represents the momentum that can come as you continue on your path. You can ride it or you can let it consume you. So some of you may be learning how to deal with your emotions. And you may have to learn, maybe some of you are doing that through food. Or maybe some of you need to do it through food meditation, which is like better food, a better diet, eating better foods. Take it as it resonates. Let's go into the celestial bodies. What do we have for Cancer? So for my returning subscribers, you guys know at the end of every year, I do a predictions reading, full moon predictions reading, and I predict the full moons of all of the full moons of the upcoming year. Then we journal it, and then we talk about it each month throughout the next year. And so this year I started doing going through all of the predictions at the end of each reading, because it's cool how your reading specifically kind of pertains or aligns with or resonates with the predictions. So we'll see. It's for May 2025. Cancer. Peace, power, protection, and prosperity for the greater good, so mote it be. Underneath the deck, we have the lunar eclipse, which we just had. I think we just wrapped that up, or it's coming up. I forget which. I think we just wrapped it up. But there could have been some significance there. Had to do with Scorpio, I believe so. And then we have this full moon in Scorpio coming up. Maybe this is the lunar eclipse. I need to figure this out. Lunar eclipse 2025. Nope, can't be on this page. Hold on. No. It's the lawyer. No. Okay. Lunar eclipse. I cannot even spell. It's not. I'm not making excuses. Lunar eclipse 2025. Okay, so the lunar eclipses, there's going to be 2 of them this year, March 13th and 14th, 2025. And then another one on September 7th and 8th, 2025. So something could have happened in March 13th and 14th of 2025. Okay? And it's underneath the deck, so I feel really strongly about that. But this also can sometimes depict what you don't see yet coming, and that's September 7th through 8th. There's a reason that we looked that up. Top of the deck, Pluto. Okay. Wow. The universe never ceases to amaze me. So, during the month of May 2025, we have Pluto going retrograde on the 4th. And it's going to be retrograde all the way through October 13th, 14th, depending on where you're at in the world. And when Pluto goes retrograde, because we are already Pluto in Aquarius, but when it goes retrograde, it's deep introspection, and it's all related to transformation, alignment, and future changes. So Pluto is about to go bloop, and you're going to reflect big time on future changes, things that will affect your future life. This also could transpire, it could have started to transpire something having to do with it as early as March, or you could see it happen as late as September when the lunar eclipse happens. Okay, so what else do we have for Cancer? Let's get into the tarot, please. Spirits. What do we have? So the lyrics of the song, Home. It's a light relief from a bad habit. It's my mother's cooking when I can't have it. It's the last train home on a date from a day trippin'. It's the place I'll go when I start slippin'. Darling, won't you take me home? Send me shivers somewhere I used to know. Wrap my name across your mouth when I let my feelings out. Darling, won't you take me home? So it's like, this is somebody that makes you feel like home. Maybe this is the person that you go home to. Okay? It's just somebody that gives you that sense of home, that sense of, that feeling, you know, where you're at peace. Underneath the deck, it's the energy going into this. It's the Ace of Staffs. So this is like a passionate new beginning. This could be a passionate new beginning. It's a very phallic symbol too. But it's a passionate new beginning. It could be in a relationship, in a career. It could be a new level to a relationship or a career. Okay. Also, this is like it could have something to do with business. When aces come out, it's like a gift from the universe. Okay, and wands are all about passion. This Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy. So you could have Leo, Aries, Sagittarius somewhere strong in your chart, or be dealing with somebody who does. But it's all about new beginnings. 3 cards, please. Okay, immediately King of Cups. That's you, Cancer. Came out. One more. May 2025. Thank you. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so underneath the deck, we had the Karusar, right? And they said that this was the chariot. there you are again, but there you are again, okay? And you're taking fast action. There's something that's making you really emotional. Justice. Oh, I see. Something's coming up. Justice. Now, one person's justice is another person's karma. Is it yours? So the King of Cups, he can be very emotional, but he's also very righteous, very just. Okay? He does the right thing. Even if it's not in his favor, he does the right thing. And there's something that's coming up, and it has to do with justice, that is causing him to move quickly with the Chariot. That's fast-moving action. That's your energy. Excuse me. My throat's dry. So, this is something that you're going to have to act fast on, or somebody around you, but I feel like this is you. And it's going to balance out. Now, the Six of Pentacles, like, it's all about balancing out things financially, because Pentacles are all about money, finances, coins, material things. And I always say, like, readers always talk about the positives of this card, and I want you to keep that in mind, of course. You know, I hope it's for the positive, but also, see, the thing with justice, with it, beside justice, one person's justice is another person's karma. Okay? Excuse me. I'm coughing. Spirit doesn't want me to go there, but I'm gonna. It's for all the others. So, the Six of Pentacles is all about balancing finances, but 3, 2, 1. I'm on the right path. Sometimes you have to, sometimes it takes money to make money, right? And in order to make justice happen, somebody needs to pay something out in order to balance it out. Is basically what I'm trying to boil it down to. That said, not all readers will read will read the Six of Pentacles. Like, you have to, sometimes it's a card of having to pay something out. Like, for instance, we're like in tax season, right? When you do your taxes, sometimes you have to pay in order to balance things out with the government, right? This is like the same ordeal. Six of Pentacles is not always positive in that kind of light, but the positive lining to it is that it balances things out, which is why it's a positive card. But when I see it right next to justice, that's why I had to say that. That's why I had to go there with that reasoning, with that explanation. Yeah. Yes. Judge. Yes. Yeah, I think this is the better deal. If, in fact, it is some type of a legal situation, I feel like balancing things out would be the best solution. I'm just a reader. I'm just a channel. You do not need to take my advice. Don't take my advice. I'm here for entertainment. I'm here to make you think, right? Cancer. I would say, though, it's always better to try to balance things out, you know, settle, agree on things. We have the King of Wands underneath the deck. Use the dynamic energy of a leader. Don't listen to other people around you that have not gotten you where you need to be, okay? If you're not in the place that you need to be, if you're in a weird situation and having to balance things out, I wouldn't rely on the same advice from the same people that put you there. Does that make sense? So, in that case, use the dynamic energy of a leader. What would a great leader do? Use your common sense. And that's the King of Wands. Some of you could have some strong Leo, Aries, or Leo, Aries, Sagittarius placements in your chart. Let's clarify, you also could be dealing with one of those. What's the King of Cups? Somebody in business. You could be dealing with somebody in business. Oh, we got the Devil. Okay, so this King of Cups, whether this is you or another person, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, energy. It's a Cancer. King of Cups upright. Could be Cancer. King of Cups upright, but there's attached to the Devil. Some kind of toxicity. There's some kind of obsession. You are only limited by what you believe is possible, however. So, like, I say you, it could be you or it could be another person. Don't drag the messenger, okay? But the Devil is about bondage, materialism, obsession, chains, your shadow self, repression, and powerlessness. And while you could be a king in power, right, you could be feeling powerlessness due to some kind of situation that you feel like you can't control, which is why there may be fast acting energy from this Chariot. Also Cancer energy. Yes, having to do with money. Everything in fruition and wisdom from all stages of life. It has to do with money. Somebody needs it. It's about legacy, inheritance, roots, security, family, prosperity, pinnacle of success. What's the Six of Pentacles balancing out what? Having to do with these pentacles. Ooh. And underneath the deck is the Ace of Wands again. Somebody I keep on wanting to say the word need. And as a reader, I don't like saying that word because it's not me saying that you need to do anything. Everybody has free will. Everybody has free will, right? So I'm telling you right now, the Ten of Swords fell, and the Ten of Swords fell sideways. Now, this tells me it's your choice. Or whoever's choice, whoever we're talking about in this reading. Someone has a choice. It could go either way. Somebody wants a passionate new beginning in a just situation, okay? But again, one person's justice is another person's karma. Depending on what's decided, depending on, I'm going to say you, Cancer, this is your reading, whatever decision is made, that sets the path of whether this is justice or karma, whether justice or karma either goes to or falls back on you. You need to think 5 steps ahead in this situation, because then the Ace of Wands becomes passion, a passionate new beginning. Now that could be a good thing if it's upright, but if it's karma, passion, put those two together, oof, passionate karma coming back on someone, if not, and if it's you, ooh. So, I don't even want to go here. Yep. All I gotta say is exactly what I said in the very, 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 very beginning of this reading. From what I'm seeing here, and again, everything is based on free will. Very, very beginning is that I would work to balance things out before making any bad decisions or rash decisions. Who am I to judge? So anyway, we've got the Ten of Swords on its side. Now, upright, the Ten of Swords means defeat, ruin. Means jail. Ten of Swords is like prison. It is ended and finished, for better or for worse. Ruin, defeat, failure, insolence, overthrow, speaking many words, hopelessness. If somebody doesn't control their emotions, which we were talking about earlier, speaking many words could lead to defeat, ruin. It's a final manifestation, completion, the result of true will. Now, on the contraire, okay, if someone works to resolve this, and it's Ten of Swords in reverse, this is recovery, regeneration, rebirth. It's a beneficial aspect. It may seem like it's drear or dire. You may have to pay out money. You may, that's what this was talking about. That's why I said it earlier, before this even fell. You may have to pay out money, okay? And it may hurt you temporarily, but it's a lot less worse than being upright, than having to go to jail for something, whatever. But it's improvement. It's having an advantage. And still being able to gain profit in the long run. It literally says it on the card. These cards have the explanations, you know, and then I add what I know. Cancer, what have you been into for a while? You guys, though, have had readings that has to do with, like, legal and justice and stuff. If any of this resonates, drop a comment in the comments below. And if it's not legal and justice, this could be, it could be spiritual, legal, you know, spiritual justice, spiritual karma. When you're dealing with the devil, as soon as the devil comes out, man, you start making deals with the devil. It's a whole nother level. Whole nother level of spirituality. Okay, so underneath the deck we have live life to the fullest, of course. That's what somebody intends to do. That's what somebody wants to do. That's the whole point of life, right? Living life to the fullest. But you have to make sure that you're not doing it to a toxic level. Because the devil will come back. Like I said earlier, doing deals with the devil will come back to collect its dues. If it's in reverse, he'll come back to collect its dues. But if it's upright, if it's upright, you know what I meant. Or he could be coming back for recovery to collect his dues. Either way, I just heard, okay, we're not going to go there. I just heard, I'm not going to go there. Okay, fine. I just heard, and I'm supposed to say, and it's about to be 3:33 on the clock. Either way, someone is effed, okay? But here's the thing. The reason I just explained it, the way that I just explained it, there's a better way out. Instead of going, doubling down and, going out with a bang or going out with a fury or whatever those phrases are, someone can actually make it a little bit better. Someone still has a way out. It's just not a way that it compromises their ego. I'm just going to put it that way. It compromises their ego, and that's probably going to be the hardest part. But it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. Once you rip it off, it stings for just a little bit, and then the healing can begin. Okay? So someone is going to have to make a decision, and, you know, either way, someone could be effed, all right? But one way will lead that person to jail. The other way will lead them not in jail. They just may have to pay a pretty penny to keep their butt out of that direction. That's where I'm seeing for a storyline for somebody. In a lot lesser degree, it could be something like that. But, you know, on the flip side of things, you know, somebody could be, you know, getting some money and balancing out, and you'll be able to live your life to the fullest. Top of the deck, be true to yourself. Yeah, do the right thing. That's what it boils down to. Be a freaking good person. You know, I get so much heat all the time for being a reader, and they're like, oh, it's witchcraft, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not witchcraft. That's what the Christian church actually, you know, tried to get people to believe, and even before that, I think or whatever. And it's a way to control people's mindsets, because what in fact I do is teach people how to think for themselves, and through the empowerment and, you know, knowledge of astrology and tarot. And when they think for themselves, they can't be controlled by somebody else's mindset, somebody else's thinking, somebody else's control, somebody else's power, so to speak, right? No. So, you know, be true to yourself. The real power comes when you're living in truth, you know, when you're living in spirit, when you do the right thing. That's when you gain the most protection, you know. It's when you get all the good karma. It's when you do the right thing, when you be true to yourself and you do the right thing. And that's what justice. And I see justice upright, and I think that most of you understand this, and you're going to do the right thing. If this is, in fact, you know, you dealing with it. But be true to yourself. Do the right thing. I don't even know who I'm talking to, Cancer, or what in the freak this is about. It's very like, and I'm a super Scorpio, but like, you know, Cancer, I'm going to be super real with you. You guys, between the 3 water signs, you guys are known as the crybabies, and I'm sure you guys know that and understand that. You're way more emotional than we are, okay? I have 1 Cancer placement in my chart, 1. And it's why I always cry at certain things. When certain things happen in my life, I'm not going to say what it is, but when certain things happen, I cry. For the most part, though, I'm stone cold. I'm a stone cold Scorpio. It is what it is. What do we have for Cancer? Underneath the deck, we have emotional balance. Y'all, I can't make this shit up if I try. It's literally what we were talking about. This is what we were talking about. Emotional balance. Some of you may need to change your diet. May need to watch the things that you ingest and put into your body, and that includes plant medicine and things like that as well. But also, you know, like detoxification is what I'm feeling, right? But emotional balance. Number 27 could be significant. It could be a birthday. It's my birthday. But the 27th of the month could be significant. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9s are culmination points, endings. It's also wish fulfillment. Emotional balance. It's almost like the Ace of Cups, right? This is about stability, harmony, peace, and fluidity. You know, wanting to, you know, an emotional new start. It's almost like a gift from the universe, like the Ace of Cups, right? That is definitely water energy. So this may be what you're seeking, maybe what you're working on, maybe what, like, you know, by doing the right thing, this is emotional balance. This is what you're going to get, right? Underneath the deck, we have number 32, it's self-expression. So it also has to do with vocalization, individuality, inner voice, assertiveness. Careful about how you express yourself, okay? Your self-expression can be expressed in other ways other than just a loud, boisterous voice, or how loud somebody roars, or, you know, that's not what expression is about. Expression can also be doing the right thing, okay? You know, being a noble person with your actions. They always say actions speak louder than words. That's a message for somebody. But that's being, you know, assertive as well. Individuality. It's like you don't need to be like everybody else. You don't need to do what everybody else says. Be an individual, assert yourself, be an individual, and do the right thing. Be true to yourself. Nobody else around you. Last but not least, before we get into the predictions. Yeah, wow, you guys have a long reading because we're already at 30 minutes, so I need to hurry. 30. I was trying to get you guys under 30. It's always the goal of really any of my videos. I'm trying to get them shorter. But, you know, it's a monthly, so try to give you guys what you want. But you can also, if you guys are interested in a personal reading, something that is more individualized, more for you specifically, your specific timeline, all of my contact information is in the description below this video, so hit me up. Underneath the deck, we have 24, all souls. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Okay, life is meant to be enjoyed. Live life to the fullest. Choose your friends wisely. Life is meant to be enjoyed. Choose your friends wisely and live life to the fullest. So you can live life to the fullest when you choose your friends wisely. That helps stable and balance your emotions when you're around the right people, right? That's how you can enjoy life. All souls. And then top of the deck, number 25, psychedelic. We have 24 and 25. So when I see these numbers together, it's a very strong message. Especially when they're complete opposite ends of the deck, right? Bottom and top. Wisdom from the Fae folk. So somebody could be doing psychedelic mushrooms with friends. Make sure it's the right group of friends that can emotionally balance, emotionally stabilize yourself when doing something like that, okay? This, I believe, you know, okay. I am a Can astrologer. I do, you know, dabble in plant medicine. So, some of you could be dealing with people who are like speaking out against you being true to yourself and using things like plant medicine in order to express yourself. Be true to yourself. Put them haters to the side, you know. But also, you know that plant medicine is a medicine. And if you're using it more than a medicine, that's when it becomes an issue, okay? Use it responsibly. Use it responsibly. I can't stress that enough. Like, use it responsibly, right? Because that's what helps you emotionally balance yourself. And that's way more fun, being emotionally balanced, than always having to stabilize yourself and your emotions around others. It creates problems and issues in your life. Anyway, long story short, wisdom from the Fae folk. You may be able to get some messages, some downloads that you've been looking for, if you responsibly engage in some psychedelics, learning a way to express yourself, maybe even assert yourself better. But make sure that you're doing it around the right group of people, the right group of friends, and also make sure that, like, this is like not before. If there's some kind of judgment or some kind of actual legal action happening, make sure that it's done after and not before all of this goes down. So that's where I'm going to leave that at. So real quickly, let's go through the predictions because we're already over. In May, like I said, the full moon is on the 12th, Scorpio flower moon. We started out with the Three of Pentacles, talks about working together with 3 or more people. This could be with a team of people, could be just like an agreement with someone, whatever, but it's like 3 or more. And then also emerging into grace. Somebody, yourself, or another person could be emerging into grace, acting with grace, okay? Number 21, resilience was the next card. Somebody being resilient. You know, coming out of a situation with resilience. Waxing gibbous number 5. 5s are always about change of direction. I said earlier, somebody could be saving themselves from a potentially negative situation if they just make the right decision. And, you know, that could change everything, right? That's that 5. So then we have card number 3, rosemary, ancient memories. Somebody is like ancient memories or memories of another person, and or use memories of situations of your past in order to cast the correct steps and decisions for the direction moving forward. Okay. Then we pulled the first quarter moon and Aries card, step into your power. So it's emperor-like energy. If you really want to rise as a leader, rise as an emperor, rise as the ruler of your domain, it's like step into your power. Again, do the right thing. It's the only way. Power isn't about stronghold or putting your foot on someone's neck. It's about empowerment. You know, it's about empowering your people to make the right decisions, and you yourself being able to emotionally balance and live life to the fullest, right? Then we pulled the lion skin tolerance card. So it's all about tolerance, tolerant for a situation, tolerant for somebody being tolerant of you. You know, even with a lion, lions don't always get the respect that they want based on how loud the roar is. That's not how they get their respect. They can just walk into a room and demand respect because they're a lion, right? So it's not about how loud you roar. It's about the reputation that precedes you. So that's a message for someone. Tolerance. And then last but not least, I used the Astro Dice, and this month I rolled Uranus Pisces, or for this month, I had rolled Uranus Pisces in the 10th house, which is about leadership. It's about profession, fame, career, right? When you place all of those things together, it means a humanitarian and compassionate approach to one's career. So for anybody like needing or wanting to need, that word again, need, wanting to save or make a big transformation and change in their career, take a humanitarian and compassionate approach rather than like emotionally balanced approach rather than, you know, dramatic and stomping feet and wanting to put their, you know, foot on someone's throat. I can't even talk right now, but that's because I'm 37 minutes, so I'm going to get off here. That's what I have for you, Cancer. Live life to the fullest. Be true to yourself. Pay attention, you know, to what you believe, right? Do the right thing. All right, so if you're interested in a personal, I already told you all of that. As you know, it's Together We Grow. I always love sharing this time and energy with you. I look forward to reading for you again in the very near future. Make sure that you also check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars signs too for additional messages. And check out the channel for additional messages throughout the month. I will see you guys on the flip side. I hope you have a fantastic May. Make the right decisions. Love you all. Peace.